There's something powerful about a woman who no longer reacts. She doesn't argue, doesn't chase, doesn't explain. She just moves in silence. That's when you know she's reached a different level of peace. A level that can't be shaken by betrayal, heartbreak, or chaos. Because when a woman chooses peace over drama, silence over noise, and self-respect over attention, she becomes untouchable. That calm isn't weakness, it's her final form. I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. There's a rare kind of power in those words, the kind that shakes your soul awake. Because when a woman reaches a stage in her life where she no longer seeks approval, where she no longer bends to fit someone else's idea of who she should be, she becomes truly dangerous. Not in a violent way, but in the most peaceful, powerful sense possible. To be hated for who you are means you've chosen truth over comfort. It means you've chosen peace over performance. Most people spend their lives trying to be liked. By family, by friends, by society. They wear masks just to keep the peace, to avoid conflict, to be accepted. But that kind of love is shallow. It's built on illusion. When a woman gets tired of pretending, she lets go of the fake smiles, the forced conversations, and the endless need to please. That's when she steps into her calm. And that calm is dangerous because it's free. Think about it. Every strong woman you've ever admired didn't get there by being agreeable all the time. She got there by being real, by saying no when everyone expected yes, by walking away from circles that didn't value her energy. And that decision didn't come easy. It came after pain, rejection, and the deep loneliness of realizing that authenticity sometimes costs you people you love. But that's the price of peace, and it's worth every tear. There's something deeply emotional about choosing yourself after years of being told to put others first. In many ways, this quote mirrors the story of a man who grew up surrounded by misunderstanding, judgment, and struggle. He was never accepted for his truth, yet he refused to water it down. That strength, the decision to stay real in a world that rewards pretending, that's what makes peace dangerous. Because when you no longer depend on others for validation, no one can control you. For today's generation, especially women navigating love, friendships, and social pressure, this message hits harder than ever. In a time where everyone's chasing likes, attention, and approval, being yourself feels rebellious. But that's exactly where peace lies. You don't find calm in fitting in. You find it in being honest with yourself. You find it when you stop apologizing for your boundaries. When you no longer feel guilty for saying no. When you realize that solitude isn't loneliness, it's self-respect. Imagine a woman who has stopped explaining herself, who no longer reacts to gossip, to rumors, to people who misunderstand her silence. She's not bitter, she's balanced. Her peace scares people because they can't manipulate it. She's not fueled by revenge or drama anymore. She's fueled by growth. That's what this quote truly means. The danger lies not in her anger, but in her indifference. The woman who has nothing to prove becomes impossible to break. And if you're listening to this, maybe you've been there too. Maybe you've been the person who gave too much, stayed too long, or kept quiet just to keep the peace. But there comes a moment when your soul says, no more. That's the moment you become your real self again. That's when you start living by truth, not expectation. So be okay with being misunderstood. Let them talk. Let them walk away. Because the ones who can't handle your authenticity were never meant to stay in your peace. You don't need to be everyone's favorite. You just need to be your own. The love that matters will always find you. The kind that sees your flaws, your strength, and your truth, and chooses you anyway. Remember this, being loved for who you're not may win you applause, but being true to who you are will win you freedom. And freedom is the loudest peace of all. What? You can spend minutes, hours, days, weeks, or even months overanalyzing a situation, trying to put the pieces together, justifying what could have, would have, or should have happened, or you can just leave the pieces on the floor and move on. There's something hauntingly beautiful about this truth. Because when a woman chooses peace, she's not saying she doesn't care. She's saying she finally does. She cares about her mind, her energy, and her sanity more than she cares about fixing what broke her. The dangerous calm comes when she stops begging for closure, when she stops trying to make people see her worth and simply walks away, silently, gracefully, powerfully. In life and love, we all reach that point where we've replayed the pain too many times. You know that feeling? lying awake at night, thinking of what you could have said, how things could have been different, wondering if you weren't enough. That's the mind's way of refusing to let go. But true emotional maturity, true peace, is learning to stop rewinding the tape. Because the truth is, the past won't change no matter how many times you replay it. The only thing that changes is you, if you allow it. The story behind this quote comes from a man who lived with constant reflection and regret, who saw betrayal from people he trusted, who watched love turn to distance and loyalty fade. But instead of drowning in that pain, he used it to grow. He understood that peace doesn't come from answers. It comes from acceptance. That's what makes a calm woman so powerful. She doesn't chase explanations anymore. She simply chooses silence over chaos. You see, when a woman has suffered enough disappointment, something inside her changes. She no longer wants revenge. She no longer seeks validation. She just wants peace. And peace, in today's world, is the rarest form of power, because it means she's no longer reacting, no longer arguing her worth, no longer waiting for an apology that may never come. Imagine a woman sitting quietly after a storm, not because she's weak, but because she's wise enough to know not every storm deserves her energy. That's the calm we're talking about. It's not passive. It's not fragile. It's the type of calm that comes from knowing her strength no longer needs to be proven. She's learned that walking away doesn't mean losing. It means reclaiming her peace. For this generation, where love often feels like a battlefield and everyone is chasing emotional validation through screens, this message matters more than ever. We're taught that closure is a conversation, but real closure is an internal decision. It's when you say to yourself, I'm done explaining my heart to people who don't understand it. That's what this quote is all about. The moment you stop analyzing the pain and start choosing healing. The moment you understand that some people were only meant to be lessons, not lifetimes. The moment you stop trying to put back the pieces that weren't meant to fit anymore. And that's what makes a peaceful woman dangerous, because she's no longer controlled by her emotions. She's mastered them. She's no longer searching for justice in broken places. She's found freedom in letting go. That calm glow she carries is the fire she once had to walk through. So, if you've been holding on to something that's breaking you, remember this: peace isn't found in understanding why it happened. It's found in accepting that it did and still choosing to rise anyway. The moment you stop trying to rebuild what's already gone, you start building yourself. And that kind of peace, that kind of quiet strength is the most dangerous thing in the world. Quote, behind every sweet smile, there is a bitter sadness that no one can ever see and feel. There's something deeply human about this quote, something that speaks to the quiet strength of women who have learned to carry their pain with grace. A woman who chooses peace doesn't walk around with tears in her eyes. She walks around with a calm face, a soft smile, and an energy that feels untouchable. But behind that smile, she's fought battles no one will ever know. She's been betrayed, misunderstood, taken for granted, yet she never let it make her bitter. That's the real danger of her calm. It's not emptiness, it's endurance. Think about it. In today's world, people wear their emotions like armor, trying to prove how much they've been hurt, how loyal they were, or how wrong they've been. But the strongest woman doesn't announce her pain. She transforms it. She learns to smile through it, not because she's pretending, but because she refuses to let her past define her peace. Her calm is not a sign of indifference. It's a declaration of control. This quote reflects the truth the artist himself lived through. His life was filled with loss, betrayal, and constant public criticism. Yet he smiled, wrote poetry, and spoke truth like his heart wasn't breaking underneath. That smile wasn't fake. It was survival. It was the way he turned chaos into creativity, pain into poetry, and heartbreak into healing. That's the kind of emotional mastery a peaceful woman carries. She has turned her heartbreak into wisdom, her loneliness into self-discovery, and her pain into purpose. You see, when a woman reaches this level of inner peace, her silence speaks louder than her words ever could. People look at her and wonder why she's not reacting anymore, why she's not chasing closure, why she doesn't argue or explain. But what they don't realize is that she's learned something they haven't. Peace is louder than pain. And when you've cried enough tears in silence, you stop needing the world to validate your feelings. The modern generation often confuses peace with weakness. They think the one who walks away quietly has lost. But in reality, she's the one who's won, because she's freed herself from the emotional chains of needing to be understood. That's the essence of this quote. The calmest people often hide the deepest storms. And the ones who smile through the storm, they're not fragile, they're fearless. For anyone watching this, maybe you've been that person, the one who smiles even when it hurts, the one who stays strong even when you feel like breaking. Understand this, your calm doesn't mean you're numb. It means you've reached a level where peace matters more than being right, where silence feels safer than arguments, and where walking away feels lighter than holding on. Behind every peaceful woman is a story that could break your heart, but she doesn't tell it. She outgrows it. Her strength is quiet. Her revenge is peace. Her power is her ability to smile in a world that tried to break her. That's the danger of her calm. Not that she's emotionless, but that she's untouchable. Because once a woman learns to find peace within herself, no one can disturb it again. Her calm isn't the absence of pain. It's the victory over it. And that right there is what makes her truly powerful. I know it seems hard sometimes, but remember one thing: through every dark night, there's a bright day after that. This quote captures the essence of resilience, the unbreakable spirit of a woman who has faced darkness and still chooses peace instead of revenge. When love turns into pain, when friends turn into strangers, and when life keeps testing her patience, she learns that peace is not found in running away from pain. It's found in walking through it with faith. That's why a woman who chooses peace after being broken is dangerous, because she's no longer driven by emotion. She's powered by wisdom. Imagine this. There was a time she cried herself to sleep, overthinking every word, replaying every betrayal, trying to understand why people hurt her when she gave them love. But one day, something inside her shifted. She realized that pain doesn't go away when you fight it. It goes away when you stop letting it control you. That's when she decided, no more chasing, no more proving, no more reacting, just peace. This mindset is what separates the emotionally strong from the emotionally lost. When a woman learns that no one, no man, no friend, no family has the right to steal her inner calm, she becomes unstoppable. The quote reminds us that the darkest nights don't last forever. There's always a morning after heartbreak, a new version of you after pain. And that version, she's wiser, calmer, and scarier, because she's no longer afraid of being alone. This kind of peace isn't soft, it's powerful. It's not about pretending everything's fine. It's about knowing everything will be fine, even if no one stands beside you. In today's generation, we glorify chaos, drama in relationships, revenge stories, emotional explosions. But the truth is, peace is the ultimate rebellion. It's a quiet revolution inside your soul that says, you can't break me anymore. Think about the people who tried to bring her down. The ones who lied, left, or betrayed her. They expected her to fall apart, but she didn't. Instead, she smiled, stayed silent, and moved differently. That's what makes peace dangerous. It confuses those who built their power on your pain. When they see you unbothered, healing, growing, they realize they no longer have control over your emotions. And that's when the balance shifts. This quote also reminds us that life's hardest moments are not punishments. Their preparation. Every heartbreak teaches you how to love yourself deeper. Every loss shows you how to value presence over promises. Every betrayal teaches you loyalty isn't about who you love, but how you love. When a woman understands this, she no longer looks for peace in people. She becomes peace herself. So to anyone watching this, if you're walking through a dark night right now, hold on. Don't let the pain harden your heart. Let it refine you, not define you. Your peace is waiting on the other side of this chaos. The same way the sun always rises after the storm. Your calm will come when you stop fighting what's gone and start building what's next. Because the truth is, real strength isn't loud. It's quiet. It's that woman who chooses to smile again when she has every reason not to. It's that woman who forgives not because they deserve it, but because she deserves peace. And once she learns that, she becomes someone no heartbreak, no betrayal, and no darkness can ever destroy again. Quote, reality is wrong. Dreams are for real. This line is more than just poetry. It's a declaration of rebellion against limitation. It's a message for every soul that feels trapped in a world that tells them what they can't do. It's a reminder that reality is often built by those who stop dreaming, and dreams are kept alive by those who refuse to settle for less. When he said, reality is wrong, He wasn't denying the world, he was defying it. Because his reality was poverty, struggle, injustice, and survival. But even in that chaos, he dared to dream not just of success, but of freedom, change, and impact. He came from the same streets that many never escape, yet he saw a vision beyond them. That's the message hidden inside this quotee. Your reality may be difficult, but it's not permanent. Think about it. Every invention, every song, every masterpiece we admire today started as someone's dream that the world first called impossible. Reality always resists dreamers at first. The people who shape the world are the ones who looked at reality and said, I'm not staying here. That's exactly what he did. Through his lyrics, his art, his voice, he turned pain into poetry and struggle into strength. There's a moment in every dreamer's life when the world laughs at their vision, when friends doubt them, when family calls them unrealistic, when everything seems too far away. But that's where greatness begins, in the space between disbelief and persistence. That's when you realize that dreams don't work unless you do. He understood that better than anyone. He didn't have much, but he had faith in his own potential. And that was enough to rewrite his destiny. For today's generation, this quote carries a wake-up call. We live in a time where distractions are disguised as comfort. Social media tells you what your life should look like. Society tells you to play it safe. But if you keep living by someone else's definition of reality, you'll never create your own. Your dreams aren't foolish. They're your roadmap. The only thing that's wrong is believing the world's version of what's possible for you. If your dream is to build something great, chase it even when it doesn't make sense. If your reality is full of noise, silence it until your purpose speaks louder. If people call you crazy for believing in something bigger, take it as a compliment, because all visionaries sound crazy until they're proven right. And remember, he didn't rise to success overnight. His journey was filled with struggle, controversy, and loss. But even when life threw everything at him, he refused to stop dreaming. That's why his voice still echoes. Because his words were born from experience, not fantasy. He showed us that no matter how broken your reality is, your dreams can rebuild it. So when you hear the line, reality is wrong, dreams are for real, let it challenge you. Don't let your circumstances define your limits. Let your dreams define your future. The world may tell you to be realistic, but reality changes every time someone dreams big enough to break it. Keep your vision alive. Protect it, feed it, because one day the world that told you no will look up and call you a visionary. And in that moment, you'll realize reality was never wrong, it was waiting for your dream to make it right. Conclusion, there comes a point in every journey when silence becomes strength and peace becomes power. That's what this message is all about. Not revenge, not proving a point, but rising above the noise with calm certainty that you've outgrown the chaos. The dangerous calm of a woman who chooses peace isn't weakness, it's mastery. It's the moment when you no longer seek validation because you found your worth within yourself. Every quote, every story, every truth we explored here is a reminder that peace is not passive. It's a decision. A decision to walk away from what drains you. To stop arguing with people committed to misunderstanding you. To no longer be defined by pain, but to be refined by it. When you reach that stage, you become untouchable. Not because you're cold, but because you're centered. Life will always test you with storms, heartbreaks, and betrayal, but your power lies in your response. When you no longer let others pull you into their chaos, when you protect your peace like treasure, you step into a higher version of yourself. The calm that once seemed fragile becomes your greatest weapon. So, if they left you, betrayed you, or underestimated you, let them. You don't need to fight for what's already beneath you. Stand tall in your peace, move forward with grace, and let your silence speak volumes. Because in the end, peace is not just the absence of noise. It's the presence of power. And that's the most dangerous calm of all.